Sit back, relax a little bit. Let me tell you a story. See if yours is anything like mine. Remember when I was a kid? So much better when I popped the lid. Till the rabble open it up.
Exactly, listen to Seany. Right, and Cash App's the easy way to get money transferred when you're out with friends. So, hop into that and then we'll get back to it.
He said, baby, jump in the back, boy. Tailgate crazy.
Oh man, tailgate crazy for sure after this past weekend, man. I tell you what. What's up, guys? Welcome back for another episode of Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports. It's your boy, the Bus Driver Cedric. And then I guess, as always, I got my co-pilot, Justin. Had Justin driving the bus on Sunday, actually. So I want to say thanks for that, man. Actually,
you're welcome. Wasn't pretty, but I kept it looking nice.
Hey, man, we didn't get kicked off the network, so I think you did great.
Oh yeah, that's the last thing I wanted.
No, just kidding. But yeah, so guys, welcome back. We got another episode. Tuesday night, as always, we try to do our start 'em or sit 'em questions. So get those questions in. And then we'll have Justin's team of the week. We'll have his IDP player of the week. Maybe we'll have Seany join us. And then we'll have his weekly winners too.
Stay tuned.
Yeah, right. So but first, we're gonna talk about the Broncos game because I was not here to talk about the Broncos.
It just felt weird. We were talking about it. I'm just like, it's like when we talk about the Steelers with Seany, it doesn't feel the same. Yeah. It doesn't hit right.
Man, Bo Nix had the best game of his young rookie career.
Yeah, he had all of us believing on Sunday.
All of us were believing. And he only had 4 rushing yards. That's the crazy thing. He didn't go off rushing.
Which is different for him because I think the week before that he had quite a bit.
I'll have to check and see, but I know in that Tampa
Bay game. I think
it's
promising though that you got a quarterback that has legs, but you don't need to rely on the legs all the time. He's starting to trust his arm a little bit more, and I think Peyton's showing that with the play calling.
So,
but Javonte, my dude,
man.
What a ghost.
Let me tell you, it's up and down, up and down. That's why I wanted to get, Alvin Kamara, somebody more consistent.
I think that's really hurting the Broncos offense is they don't have a consistent enough established running game to help take the edge off of Nix. I feel like Bo has to overcompensate and either run for his life or he has to throw with a super efficiency. If they just had a Kamara or just somebody in there that can just run the rock 20, 25 times a game and just keep, Bo within 20, 30 passes, that's a recipe for success. But until that happens, I feel like the running back room is holding that offense back, man.
Yeah, and it was supposed to be Estime, I feel like. But, Estime's had 2 fumbles and 9 carries.
Well, Batty's been trying to carry the load, and he got an IR because of that back.
Yeah, he's an IR. McLaughlin
or Bidet, however you say it.
And Javonte is just inconsistent. So that running back room, and I'll take it. Let's let that be the problem right now. We still have time to maybe look out there and get somebody before. Well,
so do you think the trade deadline goes by? They don't make any moves for anybody. They don't add anybody to the running back room, and this running back room keeps producing the way it's been producing. Do you think there's a massive overhaul next year in that running back room? Or
I don't think necessarily a massive overhaul, but
McLaughlin, they probably move on from. Javonte, they move on from, and get Estime, Batty, Watson, all these younger guys a clean shot at it.
Well, and that's the thing. They can't even because every time they give them their shot, they fumble the bag.
They fumble
it. They fumble the bag, so they can't even.
He's ripping on Estime.
And I like Estime. I was hoping for more out of Estime. I was hoping for more out of Javonte.
I think what the Broncos need to do is keep Estime between the 20-yard line in the red zone. Keep him your goal line running back. Have McLaughlin your first and second down. between the end zones, and then sprinkle in Javonte when he's got the hot hand with the momentum, feeling him in, and then when the other two guys come back and healthy. But I mean, it just Knicks needs help back there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, man, it's weird that that's the weakness out of that offense. I thought that would have been the hammer.
I was curious too, is when is this tight end room going to emerge? I know Dolchich was hurt, but like Kroll gets hurt and Troutman has a big game.
The tight ends look good though. That one-hand catch that
out of those guys though, who are you looking for getting more playing time or more snaps or just more of a
none of them are appealing. They need to pick up a star, man. We need a tight end. If anything, we need a Mark Andrews, honestly. Like if we're gonna have somebody that's just somebody, at least have.
Well, I was curious because they acquired Donald Parham earlier this season from the Chargers, and he's been sitting on the Broncos practice squad for a few weeks now. Like he's 6'7", 250 something. Like he's a big tight end target. Do you think maybe he gets a shot at some point, or is he just going to be buried on that practice squad and never like come up? Because when he was playing for the Chargers, he was a good target for Herbert in the red zone.
Yeah, I mean, I think right now they're trying to figure out the receiver and the running back room. Really, they're just happy with production.
They could have used a Deontay Johnson. Foreshadowing. Man. What happened today?
Yeah. We'll talk about that trade actually. Let's take a second. I mean, we got Benjamin checking in. Benjamin, thanks for watching.
Benjamin, what's up?
First and foremost priority around here, right? So we got Benjamin checking in. He said, should he prioritize picking up McConkey or Cade Otton? He has Bowers, but he's worried about not having a good tight end next week. Is Bowers on bye next week?
I believe
Cade Otton is a pretty good pickup if you can.
Hey, with Evans, he won't be back until after week 11, so you at least got 2 to 3 more weeks of Cade Otton. Godwin's out for the year. Shepard got hurt last week. McMillan and Palmer and I forgot the other guy's name, but they didn't step up or take the job, like to take the targets away. They're not getting Baker Mayfield's confidence right now. Cade Otton is Baker Mayfield's, until Evans comes back, his number one target. That's his go-to guy, and then it's one of those running backs out of the backfield at the moment because those other wide receivers are just not stepping up. They're not. I don't think they're getting like comfortable with the play calling or what, but I mean they're talented. Like I like Trey Palmer, I like McMillan. They're just it's not translating on game day. So if I were to go between McConkey or Otton, I would go Otton because I feel that it depends on your formatting of your league too. If it's like a tight end premium or like some sort of like special score settings other than like the PPR. And just, I like your idea too of planning ahead and securing a good tight end to just have for a rental until Bowers comes back. And then what you could do with Otton that you probably won't do with McConkey is once after you don't need Otton because Bowers is back, flip him in a trade, package him in a deal, and try to upgrade at another position. And that's not devaluing McConkey. He's really good. It's just I'm worried about the Chargers because they've established their identity and how they want to play offense through Jim Harbaugh, and that's run the football. They're a run-first team, and they're going to try to beat up on teams through their ground game and not necessarily rely on Herbert to have these big, astounding passing stats and passing performances. But, hey, it's promising. If you are an investor in McConkey at the beginning of the year up until now, you needed this breakout game because then it establishes you the rest of the season that you at least have something on your bench to use in case of emergency and break glass if you need it, because you've seen it now with McConkey. He's able to get the targets. He's able to get receptions. He's able to have bigger games for you in his rookie year, and that's important too. But with your roster building, Benjamin, I lean Otton. I don't know about you, said, but I think I'm going to go Otton out of the two here.
Well, I mean, McConkey went off last week, right?
He did, yes.
You know,
but before that, though, what did he do?
Nothing. That's why I dropped him, and I felt so stupid for dropping him.
Hey, don't, because the Chargers, they want to run the ball, and they're not going to rely on Herbert throwing it more than 20, 25 times in a game. I mean, we're up to week 9 now. We've seen this with Herbert's stat lines. It's very consistently like capped out at 25 attempts, maybe a touchdown, a pick or so, and he isn't mobile either. He isn't running with his legs anymore. He's just what he is at this point in this offense. This is until Harbaugh changes that or kind of makes it more of a hybrid offense. That's what we should see to expect out of Herbert going forward, and that affects McConkey's value. I mean, I think McConkey after this week is a good flex option. I don't think I'm throwing him right in my wide receiver 1 or 2 spot right away, but he's a good flex, a good bench stash. But if you want someone to fire up right away going into next week, I prefer Otton. Chargers are going to be playing against the Browns in Cleveland, and the Browns look revitalized now with Jameis Winston starting. That offense is humming. He's slinging the ball. Their running game is starting to pick up, and their defense is just doing enough to like keep them in games. So maybe that forces Herbert to throw the ball more because it'll be a closer game. But yeah, I think that's where my priority lies in Otton.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I think Otton's definitely a solid choice of the two.
If you could get both, that's cool. I mean, you could try splitting your fab and waiver prior and try to snag them both. But if you wanted to pick one or the other, I'd go Otton for me.
Yeah, I think I'm right there with you on that one. I'd go Cade Otton. Benjamin, Cade Otton is your guy.
Thank you for the question, Benjamin. Both. Thank you for tuning in. Like, follow, subscribe, shout out, share this thing. Keep it going.
Oh, wrong one.
Whoa, never mind. According to said, don't. Just keep it to yourself.
Yeah, keep it going. So Andrew came in. Andrew, thanks for tuning in over on YouTube. Should I drop D-Hop for Tracy? And
hot take, Andrew. Hot take.
I want to say yeah, but I want to say no.
I'm saying yeah. That performance on Monday night was an exclamation point against the Steelers defense, man. Like that's a tough running defense. That guy put up, let me see, I got the stats up right here. He put up 145 yards and a touchdown. And he had a couple big chunk runs on a strong Steelers defense. And he's shown it a couple more times since Singletary's been hurt that he's been doing a workhorse role and he's been running away with it. I mean, I don't think Singletary gets the job back unless if Dable does this he's my guy situation.
Well, I think he did kind of have that little injury scare. See, concussion confirmed. Brian Dabble said Tuesday that Tracy has entered the concussion protocol following Monday's 26-18 loss to the
That's
Steelers. Something
to monitor.
So does that change it? Are you still going Tyrone over D-Hop?
I mean, straight up, if I don't know the context of your roster build or what you need or what you're looking for, and I'm just looking at two of the player values and their expectations going forward, I like Tracy over D-Hop. I think D-Hop will have his games here and there. I still think that Kelsey's going to see.
Look at his running backs, though. He has Kyron Williams, James Cook, Bucky Irvin, and Kareem Hunt. Does he need him?
He doesn't need him, no. I think in that situation you need more of a D-Hop because Tyreek and Jaden Reed and Higgins have both been kind of suffering in your lineup. You've been probably just getting by with them.
And Amon-Ra
I think
good too.
Yeah, I know. I had him a lot of everywhere. So with that context, I would say only because you don't need him, I would switch my tune and go D-Hop. I mean,
2 for 2.
Tracy would be nice, but that's just a luxury pickup for you because you don't necessarily need Tracy in that situation. And I think D-Hop you can flip right away in your flex spot and put in your lineup right away.
So he's in a 12-team league, half-point PPR, and he's 6.
Oh, you're 6-2.
Does that change it?
Okay. I think you're gonna take the risk with D-Hop too because he's gonna be at minimum he'll be Mahomes' second target in that offense behind Kelsey.
Might become his first target.
Might free some,
Might become his first target.
Yeah, it might too. Yeah, like I'm they're playing the Buccaneers on Monday night. So if you go for that Monday miracle, it could happen. I mean, if you played Tracy this last week, you likely had a Monday night miracle.
Yeah.
And on the Tracy side of it too, I think he's supplanted his role above Singletary in that rushing game. I don't think there's a way you can go back to Singletary after that. That rookie has been balling out. He stepped up when Singletary was hurt. I mean, I hate seeing a guy lose his job due to injury, but like if you're the Giants, you're losing games. You want to play hot hand and keep momentum going for whatever you have. Keep something rolling. I think Tracy's the guy to go with. If he isn't able to go for the concussion this week, that's unfortunate, but I think the prospect of Tracy going forward, though, he's definitely someone to keep, interest in. What was his other question?
That was it. Oh yeah, he wanted to know if he should trade then. Trade Hunt, Reed, D-Hop for Breece Hall. Why are you trying to running backs? You don't like your wide receivers?
Well, I don't think he doesn't like his wide receivers. I think he's trying to lock up just another running back in case of emergency, which, I mean, we're getting closer to playoff time. It's good to have insurance running backs, but at 6-2, you have a luxury where you can try to make these moves for your lineup. I personally would not do the trade for Breece at this point because he's still splitting quite a bit of carries with Braylon Allen, and that Jets offense is kind of volatile at this point right now between feeding Adams, keeping Wilson fed, Conklin's getting some saying it too, and I think that offense goes as Rodgers goes, and I don't know Thursday night when they're playing Houston and what that's going to look like for Breece. I mean, I think it's a very frustrating season for him, but I think giving up 3 players you could easily flex and having your lineup for Breece is a little bit of an overpay.
Yeah. I mean, Breece Hall got a whopping 9.9 fantasy points, 89 yards.
I like Breece the talent. Don't get me wrong. I just don't know what the Jets are trying to work into their offense and what they're trying to do. Is it running through their new head coach and his play calling? Is it Aaron Rodgers running the show and dictating what that offense does? What's clear, despite all the question marks so far in that Jets offense, is that Breece is getting left out. He's not being the focal point. He's not being the running back one that you drafted at the beginning of the season. And that's frustrating, and it's equally concerning because at this point in the season, you need to get wins and you need certainties, you need production. And at this point, I think Breece has landed at worst your flex spot, but he's a running back too now until that upside can show itself again.
He's trying to get rid of Kareem before Pacheco comes back.
That is a good plan, Andrew.
I don't know if they're going to give it back to Pacheco. Kareem's killing it like he's killing it, though. I mean,
I don't know, but it's a good point. It's a good point because it could happen. Pacheco was doing well before he got injured. I mean, Kareem is doing exceptionally well for what he's been brought into. I mean, he came in halfway through the season, relearning the playbook and everything. I don't see anything wrong with trying to offload Hunt because this is probably the highest value he's going to have rest of season. You probably get the most out of him right now before Pacheco comes back, because as soon as he does, a lot of people buying aren't going to like the idea of is it Pacheco? Is it Hunt? Who's it going to be? Right now, it's Hunt. So if you can hit on it while you can, I say go for it and do it. There's no problem with that because you have enough luxury at your running back position that you can try to make moves. But if you are going to, I would do something like Reed and Hunt, but then upgrade whatever position you are going after and not doing lateral moves. So if you can 2-for-1 it and go up and try to get a higher tier wide receiver or running back, I'm all for it. Or if you're trying to do a lateral move, look for somebody who's got the volume and the carries, like a Tony Pollard or a Kyron Williams. I don't know if that gets the deal done, but that's a start of players you can start to pursue with the value that you have in Hunt, plus whatever you'd like to add on your roster.
Plus, I like Tony Pollard. I think he looks good in that offense over there.
And with the Lions game this last week, it was nice to see that he stayed in the game, got his 20 carries. He almost eclipsed 100 yards, but he's a baller. He's a gamer. He's going to stay in there. Tajay Spears is hurt. Chestnut isn't threatening for any opportunities with him, so he's a for sure fire him up running back one. And even better, too, the reason why I said Pollard is he's got a matchup with the Patriots this week. That's a juicy matchup.
Yeah. I was going to say, man, there's so much that went on. Stephon Diggs out. How do you feel about that?
It was a non-contact knee injury. He is out for the year with an ACL.
When is Nico Collins coming back?
He's going to be probably, I'm going to say 2 weeks. He's probably 2 weeks out. Best case scenario, he's got one more week until he's back. But in the meantime, I don't necessarily think Tank Dell is going to be Superman and go nuclear by any means in this offense, especially playing a Jets defense on a short week. I don't expect him to ball out by any means. I mean, he'll play respectively, but those other pass catchers for the Texans have to step up. So I'd have lower expectations for CJ Stroud going forward. I can't just rely on Tank Dell to get the job done. He's going to have to find a way to get these other pass catchers involved. And I can see them heavily relying on Mixon in that running game going forward until Nico can come back.
Yeah. So jumping back to the Titans, Sam said Chestnut isn't challenging just yet.
Yeah. From what I've seen so far.
Isn't Spears coming back though?
He may or may. I think he's still a week out from it. Yeah. I mean, it's a serious hamstring injury that's been nagging him before he got seriously injured. He was playing through it, and I think you got to look at where the season's going for the Titans. Though it's you don't want to overexert any of your future prospects and your future players that you plan on keeping on this roster beyond this year. I mean, what sense does it make bringing back a Tajay Spears who's not at 100% to try to win games that are they're not making a playoff run. They're pretty much, if they lose this week to the Patriots, they're all but dead in the water and going for one of those top 5 picks. I mean, you got to also at this point with that team stage of where you're at, where you're going, and what pieces you want to keep going into the next year. I mean, I like Tajay Spears. He's a good asset to have, a good depth piece in the running game. But until further notice, I believe it's Pollard's backfield.
Okay. I got a question. I guess it's more so IDP or more so bandwagon.
You're into my world.
Huh?
I say you're entering my world. IDP, now we're talking.
Well, how do you feel about the Vikings picking up Cam Robinson?
Oh, that's an offensive lineman.
Oh, well.
So it won't affect fantasy reasons, but round pick back in the day. He played at Alabama. He's a proven asset on the offensive line. He did respectively well for the Jaguars. I think he was franchise tag extended by the Jaguars, so he was a cheap, affordable pickup by the Vikings. And I think it's not necessarily an upgrade over Darrisaw by any means, but if I'm the Vikings or I'm a Vikings fan, I'm breathing a sigh of relief because you got somebody to fill in that spot until Darrisaw can come back next year. He's a more than adequate addition to that offensive line. He's going to do enough to keep the running game efficient, and he's going to be able to pass protect for Sam Darnold respectively well. Like I said, he isn't blowing the doors off of anything. This isn't a huge, big blockbuster deal, but in the sense of saving. I shouldn't say saving. It's a word, but keeping the boat afloat for the Vikings for this year. It was a necessary addition. I don't think they gave up much for him, which is good too. But this will definitely help ease any anxiety or worry that someone might have for continuing to start Aaron Jones or playing with a Sam Darnold in those passing options, because I feel like their offense is going to run efficiently well and it's going to keep going ho hum, and it won't get any worse.
Mhm.
I mean, TJ Hawkinson should be coming back soon. I really emphasize should. We don't know definitively. There was speculation last week. It ended up not turning out in his favor. So hopefully he has until Friday to be activated. And if he's not activated by Friday, it sounds like that he will be shut down for the season because that will be the end of the activation window that the Vikings have for him. So it's now or never for Hawkinson. That'll be a good addition to the offense, another target for Sam Darnold. And going up against the Colts defense this week, he will be needed. I mean, the Colts played him well last time they were there, and it should be a good game. So the addition
Well,
of Cam Robinson.
I was gonna say the Colts just benched Anthony Richardson as well too, so it'll be interesting
And
to see how they come out playing on offense.
I made some changes to my team of the week based off of that. So little foreshadowing.
We'll get to that. I just came across this little stat though. It says 1.74% of teams remain winless in the sleeper app, right? 1.74% of teams. So I don't know how many teams are in the sleeper app. I can look that up maybe.
Probably a lot, but
yeah,
I know those 1.47% aren't for a lack of trying. I mean, the injury bug has been merciless this year, and based on how your team has been composed, I mean, sometimes fantasy just rolls that way, and it's just how you adjust and build from there. You can't do anything about the past weeks. It's about moving forward and making moves to get your team and then moving in the other direction to get that first win. Because no one likes to go through the whole season winless. That's demoralizing.
That's hard. So yeah, out of that 1.74%, 18% of those teams have CMC.
Oh, that makes sense. That checks out.
Yeah. So if you got CMC and you have a few wins or even a win, then you're doing pretty good. 13.2% have Patty Mahomes, and 12.3% have Travis Etienne. And it's funny because Patty Mahomes isn't hurt; he's just not throwing the ball.
He's not performing to standards you had at the beginning of the year for expectations of how he'd be in fantasy.
Standards. Yeah, they're still undefeated though, so it's like,
the softest undefeated team I've ever seen in my entire life.
Hey, but they're undefeated. How many losses do they have?
Well, they got 0. That's what matters.
All right. So then this
on the flip
side, huh? Yeah.
I mean,
they play the Broncos in 2 weeks, so we'll see.
I mean, they're probably the most hardest opponent they've had is the Ravens, followed by the Bengals. After that, they've been playing close to 500 teams.
That's why I'm not worried about the Ravens right now, man. But 1.37% of the teams are undefeated in sleeper. I was almost there, but then I got my second loss this past week, so I'm far from it, I guess.
Yeah. That's impressive. Good. Tip of the hat to you, all you guys out there who are undefeated still. Like, well done.
Yeah.
Well done. You built it right.
Yeah, because
that doesn't mean take the pedal. That doesn't mean take the foot off the gas. No. You still need to get to the playoffs. So keep your focus. Keep tuning in. Keep getting that advice in there and making all those continuous good decisions that you have up to this point.
Definitely, yes. Keep tuning in here. Don't forget to come and tune in here because we got all your news, man. You guys, you come up, we're trying to bring you all the updates, and I promise you we'll get stats and everything that you need while you're watching this. So come tune in live, it's better live. So every Tuesday at 6:30, like we are tonight, 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then every Sunday at 7 p.m. we have fantasy over on the bandwagon. It's always on the bandwagon. We'll just be rolling along. So come and cruise with us, you know what I mean? I want to say thank you to those guys that already been cruising with us, Andrew. And then we got Benjamin. Guys, thanks for shouting out. And the rest of you, don't forget to get your questions in on your start or your set or your trade questions, whatever it may be. I'm going to take a quick break, though.
Let us know how you felt about the trade today. Let us know how you feel about your teams going forward. Let us know about anything and all things. We're here to help.
That's what I was going to say. When we come back, we're going to talk about that that Deontay Johnson trade. And then we'll get into Justin's team of the week. So be right back, guys.
Cool.
Yes, y'all. And we don't stop. Before we went to the break, or that little break we took, we were talking about the undefeated teams. So I'll touch on that really quick. So 23.5% of those teams have Lamar Jackson. 22% have Derrick Henry, and 19.3% have Jamar Chase. So the leaders, I think Jamar Chase is.
None of them have Aaron Jones?
They probably do, right? They just didn't touch on that. They just did a 3. So yeah, so we were gonna talk on that trade. Big news, Ravens acquiring Deontay Johnson from the Panthers. And if you've been following fantasy football, which if you've been following us, you've probably been following fantasy football.
I'd hope so.
Right. Deontay Johnson has been one of those rising guys ever since Andy Dalton took over down there for Carolina. Mm-hmm. I don't know how we did in this Broncos game because I just know we shut them down.
He was not active for it. He was.
Yeah, so I don't know who was out there. Yeah, so
but the writing was on the wall. This was a move that was most likely going to happen, and by keeping him out from the Panthers game was just waving the flag to everybody, letting us know that we have no intention to play him. We're going to move him soon, and it so happened to turn out to fruition for today.
Yeah,
I mean, both sides of the trade, though. What do you like about it? What don't you like about it?
Well, I mean, that just means the Broncos were planning for him last week, and they get to plan for him this week, only with the better quarterback at the helm, right? So that's just one more weapon for Lamar Jackson.
So you believe that he's going to get right away acclimated and he's going to start Sunday?
I mean, if you're looking at what Devontae Adams did, I say yeah. I think it's exactly the same.
So he's over that injury designation he had? I think it was like I don't remember what it was.
Let's see what it was. Here, I can pull it up.
But it's more so the being traded than it was about him being hurt.
Yeah, man. He just wanted out. Like, you want out of a bad situation. Like, if you feel like you're a winner, right?
Yeah. Props to his agent getting him out of there.
Yeah, quietly too, right?
Mm-hmm.
I feel like
Broncos could have used him.
About it. Broncos could have definitely used. Man, if we would have had him.
That's right. The check said. Man, you got a wealthy owner. Just write the check.
Yeah, I don't see no injury designations on his. Oh, it just says out.
Yeah.
See if we got any updates on that. Just talking about him being shipped out. Dang. So you think that's gonna affect Zay Flowers or Rashad Bateman? I just picked up Bateman, so I hope it doesn't.
Yep. I think this will be a plus move for Deontay for the rest of the season. And I think it's going to be a negative move for Zay Flowers and Rashad Bateman rest of the season because what we've seen from Deontay Johnson with the Steelers and when he was with his short stint at the Carolina Panthers is he is a target machine. He gets the ball, he gets his receptions, he gets his targets, he runs his routes, and he's going to get attention from whoever's throwing him the ball. He did when he was with the Steelers, and even with whatever quarterback they were rolling out between Bryce and Dalton, he was still getting his 5, 6, sometimes 7 or more receptions a game, and he was being an asset to that offense. So I think that hurts Zay, and that hurts Rashad Bateman for rest of season. Maybe not necessarily immediately, but it's another weapon for Lamar, another person to look at. And what we've seen of Deontay too in years past is he's not necessarily a diva, but he's also somebody who's going to call out for getting the ball. He's going to want to get thrown to. He's going to want to get his catches. So kind of like similar to Stephon Diggs, if as long as he's happy, that's what matters. And when he's not happy, we've seen what he can be in the locker room, on the sidelines, and with his teammates. It can be a pain, but I think overall that helps that offense in general. That's another weapon for Lamar, another person to throw to. I think he'll be effective. I don't think he'll be stellar by any means, but I think with a lot of these other guys like Devontae, Amari Cooper, and D-Hop, and now Johnson, I think they're all going to have their weeks. I mean, they're not going to be consistently booming every single week because they're all in offenses that have other pieces already established that are effective in the offense and the way they run. I think he's still someone to have rostered for sure. And at minimum, he's a flex. He's definitely a wide receiver 2 or 3. So, I mean, now if we want to talk about you don't like the move, you're concerned about his production going forward with Lamar, or you're trying to take advantage of him getting traded to a better team, perfect person to add to a deal. Like if you got him throwing in Kareem Hunt to try to upgrade to a player on another tier, or just packaging a deal to see if someone is interested in the fact that he's upgraded his situation and could be a better asset to their teams. That's definitely an avenue that I'm all for if you just choose to go that route, if you want to move on from him. Either way, if you keep him, you move on from him. I think all around for him specifically, this is a good situation and this is a good move, and this will be good rest of season.
Okay. Very, very well said, man. I think
how do you feel?
How
do you feel about it? Do you think to me, I think in that offense, I think at minimum he's the second target now. Either it's Mark Andrews and him, or Zay Flowers and him, or he's definitely above for me, Likely and Bateman, and I know Justice Hill is getting some pass catches, but I think between Mark Andrews, him, and Zay Flowers, I don't think they necessarily all can feed in the same game all at the same time. But I feel like, from week to week here on out, you could have a Zay Flowers boom, you can have a Deontay boom, you could have a Mark Andrews game, but it's just the roulette table of who's gonna hit. But I think out of all of those in the Ravens offense for the rest of the season, I think he'll have the safer floor, because we've seen Zay Flowers dip and kind of not necessarily ghost, but like he'll have his down bad games, or Rashad Bateman having his disappearing acts. I mean, goodness, Mark Andrews was all but not there for the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yep.
So, and Likely hasn't shown anything since, a couple weeks early on in the year. So hopefully he catches the eye of Lamar and, maintains his value. But overall, I think this is an upgrade for the entire situation.
Yeah, I mean, I think it just opens it up for Andrews. I think it opens it up for Derrick Henry. Right?
Absolutely.
It gets that running game going a lot more, because you gotta cover him. You gotta.
And this tells me too that the Ravens are going for it by adding Deontay Johnson. You're trying to play with the best of them in the AFC and try to go out and win the whole thing.
They gotta beat the Broncos first, man. It's gonna be a test.
Absolutely, that defense is no joke.
No joke.
So, caveat to that, going back to your Broncos and with this trade over the Ravens, who is PS2 covering this weekend? Who is he shadowing?
Ooh, dang. I think.
Who are they game planning for PS2 to cover?
I think it might not even be a shadow until it seems like there's somebody to shadow. I think it might, because they've been doing really good in the zone without him. So they go to man with him, and I think it may be man, but I don't think it'll be like. I think
man
as much.
For me, I think if they go man, I think PS2 follows Flowers and Moss hangs around Deontay Johnson. If they go zone, I feel like that in zone, I think the side of the ball that Deontay is on, PS2 will be on that side of the field, kind of covering that section, and Moss will be covering the other ones, because either way, I'm kind of worried about the pass catchers for the Ravens against the Denver defense this weekend. Like Moss and Surtain are healthy. They're ready to hit. They're ready to, defend passes and stuff. It's not going to be an easy task. So I would temper your expectations even still with Deontay this weekend playing the Broncos.
Very true. And I mean, it's in Baltimore, so I mean, that helps them. That gives them that boost.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Because
even so with D-Hop last week and Cooper the week before, like they had 10 or 15 plays ready for him to to go into the game to play. So I expect the same for the Ravens to do for D-Hop this week, is giving him like a short end of the playbook, some plays to get him acclimated and implemented into the game. But he's not going to be a focal piece by any means this week.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So if you want to play Flowers or a Bateman over Deontay, that I'm all for that too, just for the sake of continuity there and having the familiarity with Moore until Deontay gets fully accustomed to this offense. Now with the trade too, do you think you're selling like Bateman or Flowers? Are you holding them, or how do you feel about
I guess
them?
you gotta wait to see, because you gotta wait to see, because all of them can go off, man. It's like Detroit's offense, like they can all go off.
I know it's not an end all be all by any means, but look at the body of work we have here. Amari Cooper came into the offense the first week. He blew up. He got his targets right away. He made a performance out of it. Last week, Amari was a ghost. He had one catch for 3 yards. Yes. So first week that Devontae Adams was there, not a big week. Second week he's been there now, not a middle of the road, kind of okay performance. Now we go over to D-Hop last week, being freshly traded. Not a big week. Not anything stellar that we're hoping for and expected from. Let's see how he does week 2 in the Chiefs system against the Buccaneers on Monday night. And then I'll tell the story. Like it seems like it'll take at least a week, minimum 2, for these wide receivers to get adjusted to their new systems and become more of like a focal piece of their offenses. Like they're good players to have. I'm not saying by any means they're busting or like they're on the downswing or they're not valuable at all. It's just temper expectations with these guys on new teams and new systems, and maybe they can help you. I think all those guys that I said could help you make a playoff push on your rosters going forward rest of the season.
You got Kyle Singer. Thanks for tuning in, Kyle. Subscribe as well. Thanks for the subscribe and thanks for the like. As a question, full PPR pick 2, Dobbs, Chubb.
What? Romeo Dubs?
Chubb, Dubs, Shakir, McMillan. McMillan let me down last week. Chubb, man, coming back. Woo! He's back, right?
You like what you saw last week? I was impressed. I was impressed. Color me impressed.
Hey, like
I wasn't disappointed if I fired him up in my running back 2 spot.
There was a white boy in Detroit that said you only get one shot. and with Jameis firing like that, I would definitely rock with Chubb right now too.
Like I was saying earlier, I don't know because I watched the condensed I think this Browns offense under Winston isn't phenomenal, isn't exceptional, but what matters is they have a morale boost. They have a motivation now that they have a quarterback in there that they know can get the ball down the field. They know can help put up points. They know can help build around and get that offense moving forward and operating and being productive. So just having that thought and that feeling to begin with helps cultivate for the rest of the season, brewing some sort of semblance of fantasy hope for some of the assets we've invested in this year on the Browns team, like Chubb. Tillman's looking good. Njoku,
yeah,
he's known for having these mid to late season pushes for helping teams get into the playoffs. He's going to be a great asset and security blanket for Winston underneath, and Tillman over the top and getting in that end zone. He's a big red zone target. So I'm not by any means getting overly hyped or overly ecstatic about what I saw about the Browns last week, but what Chubb was able to do on the ground against a solid defense in the Chargers. I mean, they're no slouches. They've been holding teams respectively in games. They're not letting big plays busted. They're not letting teams beat them on the ground. And he did really well and coming back from that injury. So Chubb, I will say, is one of them, is one of my picks. Even though it's full PPR, I know he doesn't get receptions or catches out of the backfield, but he has probably the safest floor of all these guys that you've listed so far. And I like my safe floors as how I build my roster, my team. I like to have a couple players that have a safe floor, so I'm not worrying about them on my lineup. And one of them is a running back spot. So Chubb definitely fired up one there. I agree with you. McMillan disappointed me last week. I invested in him, and he did not show up. And that is telling with Evans out, with Godwin out, and the running game was efficient. It worked well, but it was very clear Baker Mayfield was like, where is Otten? I want to throw it to Otten. Otten is my guy. So
yeah,
McMillan is most likely second, third. I mean, realistically, from what I saw, like probably third or fourth option in that offense because those running backs can catch out of the backfield too between Bucky and Rashad. So he's kind of fallen down there. With the Love situation going up against the Lions this week, it ain't going to be easy. You know, we got some stingy pass defenders there, Kirby Joseph and Brian Branch and Arnold and those guys. So, and it's really the Packers have established where they don't have any option beyond, like I shouldn't say any option. They don't have a consistent option in the wide receiver 2 spot. It could be a Watson week. It could be a Wicks week. It could be a Kraft week. He's emerging and he's being more of a focal point in this offense. Dobbs has a lot of variance, a little higher risk out of these guys too, because if Love doesn't play, we've seen what Malik in the offense, what he'll run. He's not afraid to tuck the ball in and run, and they're not afraid now that Jacobs has got his feet underneath him to rely on that running game to keep their offense pumping and going from drive to drive. So it's really tough. I'm having a hard time between these 3 wide receivers. Where are you leading out of them? I know McMillan is probably not the one. It's either Dubs or Shakir, and with Dubs, it's a divisional game. Weird things happen. It is in Lambeau, so
maybe McMillan gets the ball this week because he didn't get it at all last week. You know, maybe.
I didn't know Shakir's stat line. I didn't watch that Seahawks Bills game. I don't know what happened, how he did, or where people's feelings are on him right now. I haven't been really following him. I kind of not had him on my radar. I haven't invested him in any leagues, so I don't really know his body of work or what he's been doing this season, or where Josh Allen values him. So to answer your question, I would go Dobbs and Chubb for the pick 2.
Yeah. Shakir did get he's wide receiver 23 right now. He got 12,
okay, that's respectable. That's wide receiver 2 numbers.
Yeah. So he had 20 points.
Oh well.
Sorry.
And who are the Bills playing?
Points.
The Bills are playing the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Ooh, a divisional game.
It'll be a shootout. It'll
in
be
Buffalo.
Running
in
back.
Buffalo, isn't it?
Yeah, and Miami's looking for their get back, so it'll be a shootout for sure.
Where are you leading? Are you leading Dubs or Shakir? Because we both agree on Chubb.
Yeah. Man, let's see what he do.
I think I'm changing my tune here because the better quarterback play. I think when
but
Shakir.
He hasn't been like super. Well, I guess if it's for your wide receiver 2, I'd probably go Shakir.
Yeah, or your flat. Yeah, it's your wide receiver 2.
Romeo Dobbs. I don't know if like.
I just don't know if it's going to be another Tucker Kraft game, if Jaden Reed's going to wake up and have his big games again. Is Watson going to have a couple busted plays that, or they're going to ground and pound it and try to counter the Lions, identity and try to match them with the run game and do that. There's not a lot of like breaking out of the pack with that wide receiver room in Green Bay. There's no one's really established themselves as I am the wide receiver 2. I'm the target next to Reed.
Oh, well. Yeah, I guess we're the wide receiver 2 over there. Yeah. He's a Dolphins fan. So he's starting Shakir. We suck. And he said, that's all I needed.
Brighter days are ahead from the Dolphins. I had them picking I had them picking winning the division this year. I had them going to the distance. And it's injuries suck, man. It happens. But I don't think they can't make a comeback and make a run at the wild card. By all means, I think they have enough talent on that roster to make a push for the playoffs. They just need one game at a time. Just one game. Take care of the Bills. Move on to the next week.
Okay. So you said you're going Chubb and Shakir?
Yeah, I think that's where I'll lean.
Yeah,
because I think it will be a shootout too. I think Tua's going to ball out, and I
Mhm.
think Josh Allen's going to have to match that energy.
Let's see.
Okay.
Little John agrees.
You're welcome,
with
Kyle.
you.
You're welcome. Thanks for the question. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks for everything and being a part of this. We love having you here.
Yeah, Kyle, thanks for tuning in, liking it, all these comments, man. Thanks for keeping it coming, man. We love it. We got Austin. What's up, man? What up,
Austin's
Austin?
back.
Check
What up, dude?
Sure.
Missed you last week. Glad
Just
to have you
traded,
back in.
Yeah,
What?
right. He traded Aaron Jones for McLaurin. It was Walker and Bijan. I like that. you just shot an arrow right through Justin's heart, Austin. Yeah, that's his guy. That's his guy.
You don't believe in the champ? But no, in a fantasy perspective, if you need a wide receiver help, you already have Walker and Bijan. I'm all for that trade. McLaurin's going to ball out with Daniels going for it. They got the Giants next week. They got the Steelers. That's going to be a hard game. They're going to have to throw the ball. I like it moving forward. It's as much as it pains me that hurts. That hurts.
Yeah,
Austin.
well, he has Jefferson as wide receiver 1 and Reed as his wide receiver 2. He just really
that's a good feeling. I mean, I feel
yeah.
confident throwing in McLaurin this week over Reed.
Yeah, especially when you got Daniels playing. I'm definitely
I agree,
McLaurin.
Austin. Until I think I'm concerned rest of season for Jaden Reed. He's got all the talent. He's got all just he's got the body of work. It's just with Love being hurt and Tucker Kraft emerging and this running game with Jacobs keeping the things rolling. They haven't relied on him as much as they needed in the last season. Yeah. So I'm totally fine with you rolling McLaurin over Reed.
Yeah.
Plus, I don't want to see any Packers do well this week. We want the Kings of the North to stay the Kings of the North and put the Packers in their place at home.
There we go. Kyle brought up the Little John remodeling show. My wife watch that. It is a good show. It is a good show, actually.
Thanks to the Rucko. I'm gonna have to screenshot that. I'm gonna have to tune that in after this. That sounds hilarious. I love Little John.
I'll have to send. I think it's on. I think we watched it on Amazon Prime or something.
I always had a bunch of Little John on my iPod growing up. I love that man. He's great.
We got John Paulo Keeve. John, thanks for tuning in. So Tua is gonna ball out.
Hey, I think in the sense that not that I want him to, but I think for fantasy purposes, in order for him to compete against the Bills in Buffalo, is he's gonna. What do you have to lose? You're one concussion away from being pretty much probably out of the league. You just gotta treat every game as your last game and just sling it, fling it, throw it, huck and chuck that ball.
You
got Tyreek Hill, you got the cheetah.
Yeah, right. It looked like they're trying to open it up.
Even dump it off to Devon Achane. I don't know. I know concussions are scary. His health is a concern for me and going forward. But my mindset, if I were Tua, is I just gotta play my best ball. I have to be exceptional. I have to be better.
What you talking about, Willis? Austin said, "Don't worry, he has."
Okay, you got me back. All right, thank you. I appreciate that.
John says Tua is trash against the Bills.
Probably, maybe. What's his record against the Bills?
Let's see. I'll pull it up.
I know he doesn't play well up there when it's colder. Ooh, yeah. Let's do that. Let's have that because those are two very likable teams. Well, I'm a little bit biased on the Lions, but I would be totally fine with a Bills-Lions Super Bowl. Hell yeah, John.
Tua has struggled against Josh Allen and the Bills, going 1-7 as a starter. He has completed 61.9% of his passes for 1,599 yards, 7 touchdowns, and 10 interceptions against the Bills. So, yeah, he's sucked against the Bills. He is, as John would say, Tua is trash.
Yeah. Statistically, yeah, I agree. And it's shown he is. I think the Dolphins need to do they have nothing left to I shouldn't say they still have a shot at it. They still can make a playoff run, but the time of being conservative and protective.
I was looking at this,
especially for a divisional opponent, because if you lose this game, you're essentially back 2 more games because of the weight that divisional games hold.
Yeah. So the Dolphins right now they have 8% chance of making the playoff season even. So I don't know how good
But I
their
think the
odds
Bills
are
have.
gonna
I think
be.
the Bills have that division in the bag right now. I think
Yeah.
they'll hold it. They won't have any late season collapses. Knock on wood. There, I'm knocking on wood. I don't see that
No.
happening. I think that McDermott and Allen have those boys clicking. The defense is humming, and they're gonna scare teams in the playoffs.
But like Austin's saying, like you said, Tua's
Yeah,
Hill
like
and Waddle. So I mean, Tua could blow up at any game. Not, it's
I'm
true.
just saying the man needs to play
True.
like he's playing Madden. Like you just need to huck it and chuck. Like I wouldn't be worried about losing the best comparison is play Jameson Winston ball. Throw that ball deep. Throw it, huck it. Go for those touchdowns. Try to make those plays because, like I said, with your health, you're probably like one more injury away from being dunzo. So like,
So just go all out, right? If you're gonna play, go balls out. So I mean, it'll be a good game.
Very true.
Any given Sunday, right? Austin came back. He said, "Yeah, John, it could be a great."
Hey, it's definitely a game I'd like to
back
watch.
game.
I mean, I feel bad for people who got stuck in the New England area and they have to watch Titans Patriots. Or
hey, well, I mean, with Drake May, that might be,
Well, is he still in the concussion protocol? Like, I don't think he's
Drake
playing this week. Or
what? How am I behind on this?
Well, he left the game last week.
Oh yeah, what's his name came in? Dang, everybody's in the concussion protocol, man. Yeah, I guess so.
Hey, if you're a Patriots fan, you gotta like your prospect because the Titans are coming off an encounter with the Honolulu Blue Warriors, and what happens when you play the Lions is the next week you don't win games. Ask the Cowboys.
Yeah. Well, the Cowboys just can't win games, right? I don't know.
Yeah, this is true. But that Honolulu Blue flu is for real, man. Every team that's played the Lions the next week they've lost.
Hey,
yes, John. Look at this. We got our hype men.
Yeah,
John
right.
Paulo Keefe, our hype man for the fancy football report.
Coming. We want 100 people in here live chatting with us.
Let's go.
This chat. We want this chat blowing. I can't even. I wanted to have it where I can't even follow it, man.
And we'll answer your questions. Like keep them rolling. Keep the comments going. And even when the show goes off live, we carry this thing over in the Discord. We got a link now. We have a channel. You guys hang out with us in. We have the Fantasy Football Reports group on Facebook. We'll keep this party going. Just because this show comes off live at the end of the night doesn't mean this has to stop.
Right. And then, so like you said,
John Paulo with the sub.
Yeah. You can come and hang out. You can hang out. You could, leave it in the YouTube chat,
exactly.
I get those up early enough. You can jump in and set your reminder and see it and let us know. We'll look out for it and we'll get it on the show too. I mean, like
Shady
I said earlier,
Sports Fantasy Football Reports is here for you. This is about you guys. We're trying to help you out. We enjoy talking and living in this stuff. We've given it to you.
Plus, I'm crushing it in my league this year. So
you're God mode. You're the GOAT. You got the goatee.
Nah,
you're
Shawnee's the GOAT,
king.
Right?
Yeah,
Shawnee's the GOAT. So,
hell yeah, John.
Yeah, John,
I appreciate
thanks for
that.
coming around. Much love. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, guys, don't forget to hit that like button. Share. Please share. Doesn't take anything. Share it out to your friends. Don't forget to subscribe. Hit those thumbs up. We got and then also if you check out shadysportsnetwork.com, I mean, we're trying to be your go-to sports network for all leagues. So we talk so many other football leagues on Shady Sports, so many other leagues, the Big Three basketball league, wrestling, so many other shows that we cover. We do live shows. We have games called. So guys, just tune in, check it out if you're looking for something different.
Do you have
what was that?
I was wondering, do you have like a way to drop the link in the comments for the Discord channel to hang out with us there in the Fantasy Football group or the Facebook group?
Yeah, here, I'll get it. I'll drop it in the chat right now.
Yeah, because guys, we'd love to have you. And then eventually at some point, if you guys want to hop in on here with us, we're more than happy to have you. It would be great. It would be a great addition. We'd love to just bounce conversation off of you.
Yeah, John, we all about the round table. Come on, we'll get that
we're
round
trying to
table when you keep
establish
going.
ourselves here on the network
Mhm.
as the fantasy football go-to guys to check us out.
Was it Discord? On Discord. Yeah, and then we got Austin. He wants us to rate his team.
Yeah, so that's the first one.
Yeah.
Okay, Love Baker's a good depth. There, Reed, JJ Higgins, Thomas Jr., Aaron Jones. That always bumps up my score. There you go. The whole letter grade up there. Hey, tell you
Right.
what. Ooh, that's a. I don't do these minuses and pluses and all this complicated things. You just get a flat letter grade here. For team one, I'm gonna give it a. I like the quarterbacks. The wide receivers are exceptionally well. The running backs really good. Kicker Aubrey. Oh, no Aaron Jones now in the first lineup because you trade him. Because of that, I'm going to give it a B. It was an A with Jones. That roster there is a B. The second one, what's the second one?
Yeah!
All right, let me get it pulled up here.
We got
all this other stuff.
We got
secondary.
Is that the third one? Okay, the third one you got.
Shoot. Hold on.
Oh,
wait,
here's the second one.
team.
Hurts. Ooh, one core. You got Hurts, Lamb, AJ Brown, Thomas Jr. Ooh. Oh, J-Mo's a little bit iffy now. Gibbs, Swift, Hunt, Bigsby, Brooks. Ooh. That's an A right there. I'm gonna say I like the Hurts, AJ Brown stack. CeeDee Lamb's a baller. Thomas Jr. is up and coming riser. Good like flex position right now, especially filling in for Myers and Williams. Your running backs, the Swift or Gibbs, they're all jack of all trades, Swiss Army knives.
Big
Hunt
too, man.
Yeah, that's it. And Brooks when he comes back, that's hot. So this team two right now has the higher graded. It's an A. What's the third one now? So first team is a B. Second team is an A. Go look at here. The team three.
Let's see. Oh, John approves of these. And then we got a third team.
Dak, Neighbors.
Dang, third team is running back room is stacked.
Smash A. You got Henry and Taylor and Aaron Jones. That running back room is like as solid as a running back room as you can get. And then the wide receivers, Neighbors and Amon-Ra, Marvin Harrison. Perfect. Yeah, round of applause.
Yeah.
Hitz is coming up with Bowers with your tight end. That I see you like Aubrey. That's your kicker. I don't know if you're a
Aubrey's
Cowboys
that
fan,
kicker. If you want a kicker to keep consistent with, you can't go wrong.
Yeah, he gets it done.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I say A-B-A.
I forgot Bijan somewhere.
Otherwise, you would have swept with 3 A's had you give Aaron Jones one. I'm just playing. I'm having fun with you. But those are all passing grade rosters. Those are great, man. If I was giving it on a scale from 1 to 10, I say the first one is let's see that again. That's an 8 out of 10. Second one's a 9 out of 10. And the third one's a 9 out of 10. It's really hard to get a perfect 10 out of 10 for me. So all really good.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because CJ had 3 points a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, I see that was like the quarterbacks on that third team are kind of where you gotta maybe do some
Hurts too. I mean, Hurts,
yep.
wasn't Love was out for a while, so I mean, but
that's all
when
good,
Love was out though, Baker was running.
I will say I don't know what you think, but I think he's got winning records with all three of those teams. It'd be hard to see.
What are your records?
Yeah, it'd be hard to see with those teams at 1-6 or 2 or 1-7, 2-6 or 3-5.
Yeah. Well, speaking of,
but stranger things have happened. I mean, I have some good rosters in leagues too. Ooh, you traded Jones.
Keep trading away Jones, man.
Okay.
He doesn't like Jones.
I like how active you are in your leagues, getting these trades done. It spices it up. Keep it fresh.
All right. So speaking of teams, ranking teams.
All right, who's ready for it?
Yeah, guys. Let me see if I got
Team assembled.
a symbol. Let's see what we got here to ramp it up. There we go.
And let me know, guys, what you think about my lineup when it pops in here. What do you like? What would you like to switch out? What you don't like about it? I'm open to your critiques. This is where I think for building a team, when I take it into consideration, I'm not trying to throw up a super team of like all the obvious picks. I'm not trying to throw a bunch of like hot, spicy flavors in there and making it too crazy or wild. But this is like a team from week to week. If you've been here with the beginning since we started doing it, is a team or a roster that I build each week that I think that at this point in the season, be it trades or where you draft or how you've accumulated off the waiver wire, what your team might look like and who I think could have a realistically good week. I mean, last week I don't think I did too great with my team of the week fantasy purposes. I haven't been keeping track of the points or whatnot, but this is all just for a matter of like, performance and just perspective and take in consideration how I build teams and such.
There we go. Well, I like how you broke that down and explained that. So yeah, we've been trying to do it. Every Tuesday come out with Justin's team of the week, and then we go back and look at it again on Sunday and see how the team does. And usually it's pretty on point. So here we go. We'll pull it up. We got team of the week right here. So week 9 assembled team of the week. Justin's team of the week for week 9 is quarterback Kirk Cousins versus the Cowboys. Running back Kenneth Walker III versus the Rams. Running back Tony Pollard versus the Patriots. Wide receiver Justin Jefferson versus the Colts. Wide receiver A.J. Brown versus the Jaguars. Okay. Tight end David Njoku versus the Chargers. I like that. Flex Kareem Hunt versus the Buccaneers. Kicker Brandon Aubrey. There we go. We got Aubrey again, right? Versus the
There you go, Austin. Great minds think alike.
The Vikings versus the Colts. What? I'm gonna let you explain that one. We'll start with that one. How'd you get?
You want to start with the Vikings versus the Colts?
Yeah, being a Lions guy.
Yeah. So my thought process here: Vikings versus the Colts. Man, you come off two big losses in the conference against your division rival, and then you lose to the Rams on the road on a short week. I feel like they got that wickedness or whatever funk they're in. They're going to shake it off. They're coming home to the fans, prime time, Sunday night football against a Colts team, rolling out Joe Flacco on the road. He's not a mobile quarterback. He's going to kill you with his precision. If they stay home in their zones, blitz smart, pressure the quarterback consistently, I feel that this is a defense that can score you minimum baseline 10 points with a ceiling of 20 or more based off turnovers. And maybe I could see a defensive score happening. This defense is potent enough. It's played bad these last couple of weeks, but they've also been playing against adequate to exceptional offenses like the Stafford last week, the Rams. He's no slouch. He had his weapons back in Kupp and Nakua. Kyron Williams doing his thing every week. That was a hard task to go on the road and take them on. And then before that, taking out my Lions, playing Ben Johnson, Jared Goff, and those guys. They showed that they were no slouch and really gave them a punch in the mouth in the real test. So hopefully that bad flavor is gone these last 2 weeks, and they really show up on Sunday night on primetime and put the Colts in their place and get back in a winning stretch of things. This is a good string of games coming up. They got the Colts, they got the Jags, and I think they got some other, I think, easy matchup. So I think that they can get back on track to their winning ways at the beginning of the season. And it starts Sunday night at home against the Colts with Joe Flacco. Like, the recipe for success for me is just get pressure on him. Don't let anything come up. Don't let the broken big plays. I noticed that the last 2 weeks they gave up a lot of big plays. If they can minimize that, keep everything in front of them, capitalize off turnovers, that defense is going to be a good defense for you to have in your lineups again.
Okay, yeah, they play.
So props to you if you rode with them and stuck with them these last couple of weeks, because I think this week they'll benefit you greatly.
There we go. So they play the Colts this week, and then they have the Jags, the Titans, the Bears, and the Cardinals coming up. Okay. So yeah, I think you can kind of roll with them for the next few weeks if you do pick them up. You don't necessarily have to stream out. Let's mix it up. So Tony Pollard. How'd you
I came to that with I don't think Tajay Spears is going to be back quite yet this week, and Chestnut didn't show enough for me last week. It's the Lions. A lot of their offense didn't. I don't necessarily think against the Patriots that whoever they roll out at quarterback, either Will Levis or Mason Rudolph, is going to put up the stat line that they did last week with Ridley getting 130 yards and 10 catches and Nakeem Westbrook getting a touchdown. I think they're going to rely on controlling the clock, managing the game, relying on Tony Pollard to punch and ground and pound that ball in, maybe getting a touchdown or two, hopefully about 100 yards. I have a feeling that after taking that licking they did from the Lions last week, they go back to basics, run the ball like they were doing a lot of at the end of last game, get that established. And Tony Pollard is going to be a benefactor of that, being the only man in that backfield back there and run behind that line. And I think he's going to do well.
Okay. I like that too. I feel like I kind of like Tony Pollard in that Titans offense, and he's been really like locking in over there.
Because does that Patriots defense scare you at all, or is it like
no?
Where you?
And then without Drake May, right? I feel like the offense is be pretty stagnant. So that defense.
I feel like the Titans should have the ball a lot more than the Patriots in that game, so that allows for more opportunities. And like I always say, volume is king, opportunity is prime. So I think I set it and forget it this week. Like you'd be comfortable with him there, sitting in your running back 2 spot, and feel like you could get a good production out of him.
Yeah. I think you're definitely going to be. You won't be frustrated, I'll say, with Tony Pollard and your.
And definitely with this lineup too. I think you make up for it in your wide receivers. I felt like you drafted these 2 guys real high, and they was with your go-to first 2 picks, and then you fell into a Tony Pollard late in the draft. So I think that whatever Tony Pollard lands this week, it'll be okay in terms, because with these wide receivers, they should be your big booms and like making your week and helping you win your week.
Right. Yep. Very true. Let's go over to your quarterback, Kirk Cousins versus the Cowboys. And I mean, it just feels like everybody who's playing the Cowboys, they look good. So
I think everybody can throw against them. I don't think they're getting pressure on the quarterback with Parsons out and Lawrence out. Like their pass game is just getting exposed. They did against the Lions. They get the Niners. Like Kittle just destroyed them on National Tight End Day. So and Brock Purdy did well against them. Like Goff and Purdy weren't exactly like stellar superstars for their weeks when they played the Cowboys, but they were efficient enough where they had a good safe floor, and they did enough in their matchups to make me feel comfortable rolling out Kirk Cousins at home against the Cowboys in a game that's very important, since they lost and got beaten up a little bit against the Seahawks last week at home. I think it's a get-right game. Kirk Cousins does his thing, balls out, and beats the Cowboys and puts them in their place. Because I
mean, he threw 4 touchdowns.
I think the Cowboys are Huh?
I said he threw 4 touchdowns last week. So
yeah. So he's very capable of it, and I think based on like with bye weeks rolling around, that he's a good quarterback to rely on in your lineups this week. Like I wouldn't be afraid if I had him in there. I'd be confident from what I saw last week. Even though they lost, it was an admirable performance. And I think the Cowboys team, they're very vulnerable right now. They're susceptible to everything. The run game, the passing, it's open season. So feast on it now while you can.
Yeah. Cool. So let's move on. Hold on. I lost myself for a second there. Let's go over to your wide receivers, right? Obviously both these guys are must, start, but Justin Jefferson versus the Colts. What you're thinking on that?
I feel that the Sam Darnold is going to just pepper Jefferson with targets. If Hawkinson isn't playing, even more so. But even if Hawkinson does play, I feel like coverage comes off of him a bit, which leaves him more open to the opportunity of a big play, like a bust and a big touchdown reception, like we've seen in the past when Hawkinson plays and when Jefferson does. I think prime time at home, coming off the 2 losses, they're disappointed. I think that he balls out and reaffirms to everybody that he's a wide receiver 1 in the league and has a stellar performance that puts you over to your matchups and makes you feel comfortable going into Monday night.
Okay. Well, let's go talk about your kicker, Brandon Aubrey. You and Austin got that in common. Austin says Aubrey's guy.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So, what are you seeing with that Aubrey versus the Falcons? I mean,
I think I don't have the exact stats in front of me, but I think every kicker that's played against the Falcons has scored double-digit points, or at least has done very well on their matchups. So I think the Cowboys don't finish drives being on the road, and like their running game is non-existent. So it's going to be harder for them to punch it in the end zone, and we know Aubrey has a big leg. So all they have to do is just get it on the other team's side of the field, and they can rely on him putting in 3, 4, even 50 yarders through the uprights. I think he'll have plenty of opportunity because the Falcons defense isn't exactly exceptional, but it's not exactly flubs either. I think they're just a middle of the pack. They're susceptible to get driven on, but not necessarily get touchdowns on. So I think it's a good recipe for Brandon Aubrey.
Well, I mean, we saw, the beginning. I feel like the beginning of that Buccaneers Falcons game, the Bucs were moving the ball. Very, very, very not easily, but I mean, they were moving the ball on these guys. So, yeah, I think it's very likely that the Cowboys could move the ball, especially coming off of last week where it felt like they were getting stopped a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I think they'll have Dowdle back. He won't, he was out with just an illness, so he'll be back. That running game should be a little better as well too. So I think Brandon Aubrey will get a few more attempts this week than one field goal attempt.
Yeah, that was a down week, but he should be bounced back.
Yeah.
He should be fine this week.
Right. All right. Jump over to your tight end, David Njoku versus the Chargers.
Yes, so I feel that with the emergence of Jameis Winston taking control and taking over at the quarterback spot, he's going to rely heavily in this game. I don't think there's going to be much opportunity for the Browns offense and the Browns scoring because the Chargers like to run the ball, control the clock, manage the game, and limit the opportunities for the team on the other side. So I think Njoku benefits off of that because that'll not necessarily Winston going for the big plays and knockout shots with the wide receivers over the top, more or less just moving the chains, getting the ball down the field. So I don't necessarily see Njoku having like 100+ yard game, but I can see him having a 6 to 10 reception game with a touchdown in the red zone. Mm-hmm. So that usually for your tight end spot, you know how the landscape is right now. It's hit or miss with tight ends. It's like there's no middle ground here. So I think Njoku is a benefactor at the new quarterback change, and then playing at home against a Chargers team. I think there's a good recipe for success.
Especially, with that, like you said, with that momentum they have over there, man. Like, I think
because I feel like the Chargers are very beatable.
Yeah, they're definitely. That's my opinion, right? Let me see if I can get the tight end stats versus.
Because how did Trey McBride do against the Chargers last week?
Trey McBride went off. He had like 23 points.
Yeah, so that could be a benchmark of seeing like McBride's done it on him. I don't know how the Saints tight ends did the week before that, or how the Broncos tight ends did before that, but I think Njoku is a big body target, a security blanket. As much as Jameis wants to huck it and chuck it, I think Njoku will be more than adequate enough to find the zones. He's a veteran. He knows how to do that. And he's going to be a pseudo Kelsey and be a productive player in that offense. I actually think he's going to probably be the highest scoring player on the Browns offense this week.
Oh, wow. Bold hot take right there. Hot take right there. AJ Brown versus the Jaguars.
Yeah, last week we saw it was Devonta Smith as a benefactor for the touchdown with Jalen Hurts. So I've noticed a pattern of like Devonta game, AJ game, Devonta game, and AJ game. I think against the Jaguars here, that if they put up enough points, Brown will just he'll dominate the performance. He'll command targets. He'll expose that pass defense, and he'll get back in the end zone. I think this is a get right game for him. I know he didn't have dud numbers last week, but they weren't stellar numbers that won you your week or took you over the edge in your matchups. I think this is a good recipe for success, beating up on a bad team. I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to be running for 3 touchdowns again. I think that was an outlier. I think Barkley will get involved some. And but overall, I think A.J. Brown will be the top benefactor on that offense playing the Jags this week.
Yeah, I think it'll be good. They're averaging around 10 to 12 yards per reception.
Okay.
And they've been limiting, big gains. But yeah, I think the way that the Eagles play, they'll be able to stretch them out for sure. And get around that secondary. If they can get on the outside of that secondary, I think they can open it up really, really well. And that's what AJ Brown does best. He catches those deep balls. Going back to your running backs, we got Kenny Walker III versus the Rams. Conference game.
Yeah.
Conference games. Well, this is the only one, I guess, on your list so far. But what are your thoughts on that?
Oh, yeah, that's right. I was just thinking last week he had a bit of a clunker. He didn't really perform as well as he has in the previous 2 or 3 weeks. So divisional game at home, playing against a young defense. I think the Seahawks go back to basics, what they used against the Lions and they used against the Falcons, and exposing that run defense to a heavy dose of Kenneth Walker. He'll be a good passing option, too, out of the backfield if DK Metcalf isn't able to go. I haven't heard any updates on him. It's still week to week from what I'm reading. So JSN hasn't separated himself from the pack to be stepping up in DK's absence. Tyler Lockett has kind of disappeared, and I'm not really threatened by the idea of Geno throwing to the tight end a bunch or trying to pass the ball a lot this game. I think it will be a closer game, a tighter matchup. So Kenneth Walker should benefactor that if they get in the red zone, especially. But he's also always capable of busting off a big one. And another, I think, untapped or untalked about aspect of this game too is you got Kyron Williams on the other side of the ball running his ass off for the Rams and lighting it up. And I think he'll probably play off of that too. If Kyron's having a good game, he's going to want to match that energy. He's going to want to match that and get the ball and show him up, because you know how those divisional games go. They get gritty, they get scruffy, they get pretty tough. So I think Kenneth Walker will bounce back from last week, and he'll get you back into the running back one conversation and help anchor your lineups.
There you go. I feel good about that too. I think they're going to be looking to have him open it up a bit much or a bit more this week. Yeah. So we got Justin's Week 9 Team of the Week right there. That's a pretty solid team, man. I think I'd be a little scared to go up against this team if I saw them coming in fantasy football. It'd be, that's That's a tough one. That's a tough one. That's consistent.
Yeah, I like to do it in my flex spot. I like to, it's kind of my play style strategy. I like to keep it spicy in the sense of like, I know we didn't go over them, but I got Kareem Hunt there in my flex. So if I haven't got you quite put away yet with my team of the week, going into Monday night, seeing that I'm going up against, I have Kareem Hunt still going on Monday night. I feel like if it's a close matchup, I got 8 to 10 points I need. I feel like Kareem Hunt can knock that out for me and get me the dub.
No, definitely. And going up against the Buccaneers, I think that is going to be a game in between the trenches. Both those teams,
I think a lot of points will be scored that game. I think I think by necessity, the Bucs will do whatever they can to get points on the board, either running the ball or throwing it to the tight end. So the Chiefs are going to want to limit their possessions, keep the ball on the ground, get the passing options slowly acclimated, and only pass when they need to.
Yeah, very, very true. So, I think that's going to be a good Monday night game as well, too. We've been having some
And
good
this
Monday night
week,
games
especially,
lately.
I'll keep track of it as the points go, and I'll try to get a total. So then for the next show, we can kind of run through this and see how well he did numerically.
There we go. I'm down with that. I can help with that if you need help as well. So,
And if you
moving
guys build
on.
your own team to go up against it too, that'd be cool too. You post your
Mhm.
assembled teams of the week and see how well they do against mine. I'm all for
Yeah.
that too. I'd be interested to see what you guys put up there in the comments and the chats or on our groups or our links, and let me know what you think.
Yeah, there we go.
But
Very,
take us
very
home,
cool.
Sad.
Yeah, no, so we got your IDP player of the week too. I know we do
Yeah.
PPR here, but we touch on IDP. We touch on everything, man. We'll talk dynasty. We don't care. We're talking football, so that's the whole goal, right? Really, just talk football. We disguise it
Exactly.
as
And I
fantasy
love me
football
some
point.
IDP.
Yeah, so we got Justin's IDP player of the week for week 9. Zaire Franklin.
Yeah, he's a baller. He's a monster. He's played 100% of the snaps going into this game. He's been healthy. He's been a monster. He's scoring double-digit points. Especially, I know 20 points is on his low end of a week, but being that he had 11 tackles, 7 solo, 4 assisted, depending how your IDP point scoring is total, that can vary a little bit. But just last week alone, having 20 points as a floor or baseline for your IDP, that is more than worthy. That is more than appreciated. So he's been known to have anywhere between, I don't know, I think he's scored
I
up to
have
like the 40s and 60s.
You got, man, let me tell you, I get points from this guy. I haven't taken him out since putting him in.
Mm-hmm.
And
I
last
think
week he
here's my
got 45 points.
45, yeah. So you got that ceiling play with him. He's a stud player on the defense for the Colts. And here's the thing too. The reason why I have Justin Jefferson starting, I got him in my wide receiver one, is because I think the Vikings are going to be on offense a lot. They're going to be running the ball. They're going to be passing the ball. Colts are going to be on defense a lot of the game. And it's going to benefactor too of my defense of the week playing the Vikings, because they'll capitalize off of the opportunities of not being out there so long. They won't be as tired as they were against the Rams and the Lions, and they'll benefit from that, and they'll have higher energy, set the tone. So the defense for the Colts will have to be on the field a lot more this time around than the Vikings defense. And Franklin, he's flying. He's all over the place. He's a superstar, man. So if you drafted him in your IDP leagues, keep him rocking, keep him rolling. He's playing every down, every play, and he's always capable of busting off a big play and really swinging your matchups.
Yeah, no, that was a good pickup for me. I'm glad I picked up Zaire Franklin.
Hell yeah.
Been consistent. And then, yeah, I mean, Justin Jefferson, gosh, man. It's going to be some good games this weekend. I feel like it's been some good matchups this season for sure. Like we've at least had like 2 to 3 great matchups. I guess that's usually how it is. But yeah, so I mean, just winding down, coming near the end of the show, guys. I just want to say thank you guys for tuning in. All you guys that commented, Austin, as always, man, thanks for joining in with us. We got John, Paulo, Keith. Thanks for commenting. I mean, John was just keeping it active.
Yeah,
Man.
and the sub and the follow. Thank you.
Kyle Singer. Yeah.
Thank you, Kyle.
Who was it? Benjamin. We
Benjamin,
had,
thank you.
Yeah, and Andrew. Yeah, hey,
And
all
Sam,
you guys.
Sam, thank you.
Sam too. Sam, we're gonna get you on the show. Sam, we're calling it
It's
live. We're gonna get you
happening.
on the show. Yeah, one of these days you're gonna come in with us.
Andrew, thank you for your contributions to the show. Everybody, you're helping this thing grow. You're helping add to this thing. You're helping us, do what we do, and we appreciate that every moment of it. So thank you.
Yeah, guys. Definitely, like Justin said, thank you. That's the whole goal, is to get you guys engaged with us, right? Keep it going. That's the whole goal of Shady Sports Network, anyway. Honestly, is to give the voice to those that don't have a voice, that want to have a voice. Like, not those that don't have a voice, but that want to have a voice. And I was just throwing this up here. You guys can join us here on Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports every Tuesday at 6:30 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. And then every Sunday at 7 p.m. Mountain Standard Time. So whatever that is in your time zone, here in the mountains, the standard time, it'll be at 6:30 and it'll be at 7 on Sunday. So come join in with us, man. We love it. We love the interaction. We usually try to keep a an outline of what we're doing for the show. I mean, normally we're gonna have the team of the week, and we're gonna talk our teams. We didn't even talk the Lions, Justin, so I feel bad about
No,
that.
we did. That's all good. We're ready. Let's save that for Sunday.
Yeah. So we have our things we follow, but we'll drop it and talk. Your team. So join us on whatever your streaming network is.
Keep an eye out on your notifications because we always got things in the works. We're always working on things to build this thing and switch things up and keep it fresh for you. So keep an eye on the notifications. Keep tuning into us, and we might have some more content coming your way here in the upcoming episodes. So just stay tuned.
Yep,
and it's all looking good.
Yeah, maybe you guys will see some things in between the episodes too. Many episodes just to keep it engaged. While we're not doing this daily, which I feel probably be better with fantasy football. It's hard, man. We're just doing this.
It's hard.
We keep it up. We try to keep it engaged and keep it active. In the groups, in the Facebook group, we have the Discord group that we've recently been getting up and going. So it's SSN Sports Talk and Content and hashtag fantasy/football. So there's that on Discord. We got Twitch. We're starting to get that going. We got all whatever your favorite social media is. I'm pretty sure we're on there. You can find it on Shady Sports Network. Or you can hit me up 303 Bandwagon or hit Justin up on Sleeper or Discord now
to share on all three of those platforms, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can.
So
John Paulo Keefe brought it up earlier. He enjoys the roundtable sports, and going off of that, we're still looking to build that roundtable. So if you're looking to join a fantasy league going next year, if you're looking hang with the goat over here, said, or you'd like to beat up on me and my teams, drop your info over there to set at 303 Bandwagon, and can get you set up with getting a team in the league next year. That's our hope. That's our goal. It'd be fun to bounce that roundtable off you guys for next year. Yeah, right. Couldn't said it better myself. So yeah, guys. So keep up with us. All you guys watching, thank you for watching. Come back, join us this Sunday at 7 p.m. We'll be live as well, and then you can always watch the replay again on the social medias. Usually on the YouTube channel, just head over to Shady Sports Network and look up the playlist, Shady Sports Fantasy Football Reports, and you'll find us. You'll find other shows as well too. I mean, we got so many shows. I couldn't even tell you. I highly recommend Monarchs of Wrestling. That's a fun one. I like that one. Monarchs of Wrestling is. I know it's a different, like, this is football, but I'm just letting you know what I check out. I mean, I'm following that one regularly, so feel free to check out all those guys. Check out our network. We're full of great people, great shows, and we're looking to keep growing. And part of that is helping you guys, and you help us by keep watching and sharing us and keeping us out there in your views. Yep, hit that thumbs up button whenever you get a chance. So yeah, guys, thanks for tuning in again. Like I said, come back and join us this Sunday. We'll be on 7 p.m. and then I'll be on that morning too on a pregame reports. You can see that on Shady Sports, and we just keep the sports. Yeah, show Seth some love. Join him in the morning. Wake him up. Come talk trash with me. I'm talking trash more so in that show. A little bit more hectic than this one. So yeah, let's get it. Thank you guys for joining in. Justin, as always, it's a pleasure, man. Thank you for crushing it, man, and bringing the info. Other than that, you got anything? No, I'm good to go. Looking forward to Thursday night games. Hopefully your guys' waivers go through in your favor. You get the people you want, make the drops you need to drop, get the trades done that you get, and hopefully you're enjoying this week going into Sunday. Look forward to seeing you Sunday. Yeah, and if you guys have any questions, like I said, jump into the chats. We're happy to help you out with that. If you got any questions on your teams, find us on the Facebook and all the social medias. Just to reiterate and say it again, like, please hit us up. We're looking for it throughout the week, and we'll bring it back again on the show, the next show. So if nothing else, guys, thanks for joining. Have a good one. Peace. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer. Changer.